Welcome, acolytes. Got
Where
this
is I?
video
Oh, right.
shared from one of my actual acolytes, and he thought that this is actually quite interesting to talk about. Art is dying. Now, if you know my thinking about art, I am very conflicted in it. On the one hand, I love art, I love actual art that you just have to grid it out, just be in there, just freaking make it feel on something. But on the other hand, I'm very critical of art that's a fucking banana on a wall or a soup can. Because I personally don't think that's art. But it's, of course, subjective. I mean, for me, art like those two things that I just mentioned are just NFTs for rich people. But hey, what do I know? So let's hear maybe from someone who is a bit more of a freaking thing for this than me. Let's start.
I was like learning like AI stuff. So it's like I said,
Ooh,
I like AI stuff. So I was like kind of like learning like the new
good.
systems, like the new stuff,
Nice.
and
Very
it's
good tool.
really good. I will say the new AI stuff is really good. It's just very expensive. It's like it's like $250 a month or something, but it's really good though. Leaflet is learning cringe. Yeah. I mean, it's cringe. Here's the thing, you don't understand. I've been into the AI stuff before everyone hated on it. I was in it when it was shit, when it was like absolute dog water.
Damn,
I
a
was already
veteran.
into it. So
Nice.
none of this.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, respect for actually wanting to start with the tool and informing themselves about it, because this is something that, yes, AI is a tool that can be used for good things, but most of the time it's gonna get used for fucking lazy things. So, you know.
Is like none of this is new. None of this is new. The only thing that's new is like people hating on it. That's the only new stuff. I was in it. I was like working with AI stuff before, like with waifu wars and stuff. So this is like before that. Nobody complained about it before. Everyone thought it was really funny, and like, oh, this is great. It's very funny. It wasn't until it started to get good that's when people started to hate on it. Actually, no, we played. Yeah, we played AI Dungeon on stream. We played it on stream, like, or when it first came out, we played it on stream a long time ago. But how do you reconcile your support for AI and the artists unions who hate? I have a question here. Maltberry asked Leaf, how do you reconcile your support for AI and artist unions that hate AI? I mean, how do they feel about cameras? How do they feel about cameras? How do they feel about Photoshop? And
Yep.
how do they feel about brushes?
Yes, correctly. By the way, I understand every critic and fan of AI because I am more in the between. I see it as a very effective tool, but also as a very effective tool to steal stuff. Because enhancing your stuff is beautiful. It's just perfect for with AI. But also the other thing is, yeah, you can steal stuff pretty reliably, often, and effed up.
I have not had a single person, not even one person, talk to me about AI and hate on it with a consistent worldview. Not even one person. I have heard one argument against AI. There's only one that I have heard that I think actually holds any sort of philosophical consistency, and that's
Yep.
all automation is bad. I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing to say, is that AI is bad for humanity. Automation is bad for humanity. So this is how the argument goes. The argument goes that humans need work. Humans need work to survive, and humans need it as a means of what's the word? They need it for purpose, basically.
Correctly.
Humans need to work to have purpose in order to survive in life. Not just physically, but also mentally and spiritually. Right? That is a good argument, actually, against AI, against automation. But here's the thing: you have to be against a lot of automation for that. Does that make sense? Like you're gonna have to be against fucking robots making like robotic arms making phones, and like or factory robots making like factory things. You have to be against that too. which I think is consistent. Actually, I think that's a good. I don't agree with it, but I think that's a good argument. Now, the problem, the problem with the AI art argument specifically is none of it makes any sense. So like a lot of the argument that people make, first off, is that it's copying. Like it's literally just
Correctly.
like Frankensteining like a picture. Like it takes like 5 artists' pictures and then it like Picasso's them into like a collage of like a picture. That's not how it works.
Yeah, and by the way, a very good argument was made by let me see what his name was, because I forgot that one. I made a video like 1 day ago. Yeah, with this. Gray Young. Whoa. VO is probably for voice. Voice actor. Voice actor. No, it's not. Of course not. But he actually made a great example of showing 2 pictures, both presumably made from AI, and said this one isn't, this one is. Please tell me why this is inherently better. And the people just F up because there is no inherent thing. Art is subjective to a certain degree. And yeah, it is what it is.
It's just like a fundamental misunderstanding of like how AI operates. But that's the one that they say a lot, basically. Tractors are not automation, but they take a lot of jobs. So did horses and donkeys before. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you could say that too. Yeah. Basically, any sort of innovation makes people lose jobs.
Yes.
So I could just make an art argument here. How about photography? Photography took a lot of jobs. So originally, before photographs, you had to hire a person, like an actual painter, who would sit down with like your whole family. Your whole family would like stand there, for like an hour. Like you just like get all dressed up, you'd stand out in the field for like an hour, and then the artist would draw like your family, and then that would be like your family portrait, right? Nowadays,
correct.
like we have like a fucking magical box in our freaking in our pocket, and we just whip that out and take a picture. Now we have a photo, right? Whereas back in the day, you had to actually hire an artist to do that. So like when photography happened, that pissed off a lot of artists as well because they started losing their jobs, right?
Yes.
How do you Shai says, how do you feel about this argument? I don't believe
AI will burn down a lot of jobs. It won't be just artists. Artists may be one of the first to be actually shafted by it, but hey, it will reach way more.
believe we should be trying to automate creativity, and I think that it's a fundamental worry, specifically with AI. See, I don't agree with that though. I don't agree with the premise of the argument, which is that AI stifles creativity. I don't think it does. In fact, I think what it does is it allows a single person to be like more creative in a broader spectrum. But so, okay, how do I explain this? AI is a tool that can be used for creativity, but it can also be used for evil. Think of it this way.
Correctly, yes.
If you have a person, right, with a so let me explain to you like how I see it. There are artists out there who call themselves artists, who they put a blank canvas on a wall, right? And then they throw paint on it, like randomly. Like they just throw paint onto a canvas, right? And there are people who would say that that is art. I don't think it is. I see that in the same way. You could do that in a way that is creative, right? In the same way, so with AI art, for instance, right? You could just say a picture of an apple, and then like you hit generate, and it's like the first thing that you see, and then you save that picture, and you say, I made a picture of an apple. To me, that's the equivalent of throwing paint onto a blank canvas, and you don't really care what it looks like. You're just like, I don't give a shit, like just whatever, just gonna throw paint on it and just like sell it for like $1,000 or whatever. Like, like that is equivalent to me. So to me, the AI is a means. It is a means and tool of art, but it doesn't mean that everything it creates is art. Does that make sense? I'll give you an example, like another example. So say somebody made a movie, and this is how they made the movie. They rolled they had a formula. Let's say like hero's journey. They take like the hero's journey formula, and they literally have a list, like an RNG table, like of like 100, like they just roll a dice, and they're like, okay, like the hero is a male elf, and then they roll another dice, and it's like, oh, and then it's this, and it's just completely like there's no thought into it. It's just like RNG formulaic in order to get like the most amount of people to look at it.
Fair enough, yes.
I think that's not art either. I think what constitutes like something being a creative endeavor has to do with basically making something within the vision of what you want it to be. May not be art, but it'd be a better movie than what we see these days. Thanks for the
Makes
bits.
sense.
Thank you. So AI is the same. You can just type like, you know, I could just go into like AI right now. I could literally go right now and just be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it like literally right now. One gen, an anime girl. Right? I just type an anime girl, and like I don't give a fuck what it looks like, right? I'm just like whatever, right? To me, that's not really a creative thing because you're not being creative, right? Like what's creative about typing an anime girl and then taking the first thing that it gives you and then saying that that's good enough for you?
Correct. Yes. On point. That's the bad part. That's the really bad part. I agree.
Right? There's nothing creative. I don't know. I feel like I don't know why, but it feels to me like a lot of people have trouble grasping this concept. It doesn't seem like that difficult to me. Like it just seems like it's like sometimes I feel like I'm living in like a completely different like it just feels like I observe like reality like completely differently, like from like everyone, and it's.
No, the thing is, you as a lot of people, or most people, make mistakes in their life. And sometimes we don't look for an answer, but a confirmation of our thinking. And that's something that I, myself, try to avoid as much as I can. Now, am I always successful with the acolytes? No, of course not. Am I trying to actually go that path? Yes. But that's not how a lot of people think. A lot of people actually think quite the opposite. I think this, so this has to be done this way. Simple as that. And just the confirmation of your own bias, it is what it is. Simple as that.
Drives me insane, actually. The concept to me is that the creativity is based on like a person taking a creative vision that they have in their mind and then making that reality, regardless of how, regardless of the vector or the parts of which it is created from. Right?
Fair enough.
Like, for instance, if I had a creative vision of like, I think like a sandcastle that looks like this would be really fucking cool. And like, I had this idea of like, man, I'm gonna make this sandcastle, and it's gonna be like the wall from like Attack on Titan. But then like, you know, I'm gonna put like some like, but it's like in space though, right? Like it's like a space wall. And then like I were to use sand as the vector of that creation. Like I don't think that makes it less or more creative than something, you know, drawn on paper or made out of paper clips or, you know, 3D modeled in Maya or whatever, right? Like I don't see the difference between that. It's just a different method, right? And
if you take something and get inspired by it, you know, that's a bit of a different thing. That's always
This has nothing to do with it of difficulty. I don't think that difficulty is related. I think as humans we value difficulty. We do value difficulty and skill, but I don't think it's actually related to the aspect of. I think it's divorced from the creative aspect. I think is like not related to difficulty, right? Because like I could, for instance, if I made a vase out of clay, right? But then I did that same thing with a microscope on like an even smaller level where I had, I don't know, a salt crystal, and I were to use like needles in order to carve a vase out of a salt crystal. I don't think the difficulty really makes that endeavor. the fact that you could use a needle to carve a vase doesn't make the original vase made out of clay of less value. Does that make sense? Anyway, here's your fucking anime girl. Actually looks pretty good, actually.
And by the way, I agree and partially disagree. The thing is, yes, we value to a certain degree if something's difficult and somebody has to overcome it, yes. But we also really respect the simple things and making the simple things actually work for us. Or just like I'm doing right now. Simple thing, reaction. I'm trying to do it as entertaining as possible. So when it goes better, sometimes it goes worse. I'm still finding my thing, so here. So still, some ideas go rise, some don't. And it's a simple concept, let's be quite honest. I mean, reaction content, I won't say it's some kind of freaking godlike over passionate effing thing. It's just fun for me. That's all that it is. And still, but someone like Asmongold, like SSS Sniper Wolf, like XQC, like Hassan Piker, they are doing reactionary content, low effort content, and still they are doing fucking great. A lot of people appreciate their thing. Because it's maybe by some of them, it's not because of the content behind it, but because of something else. I mean, Asmongold, I watch him on a regular basis, and it's not the reaction to the thing, but because I want to hear his thoughts, that's all. So, you know.
The prompt was literally an anime girl. That was it. I just typed an anime girl, and this is what I got. Oh my gosh, it's art. It's the perfect anime girl. So now, like, let me show you. Okay, so for instance, I don't think that that's artistic at all, right? But, or creative. I don't think it's creative to type an anime girl, take whatever you get, and then be okay with it, right?
Yep.
But, like, what if we took that same thing, right? And I hit, like, okay, I'm going to use that as a thing. Okay, and then I'm gonna completely change this, okay? I do not support that one. Also, the fuck that stole Ghibli's art style, I do not support that one. Here's the thing I don't buy about that argument either, is people are okay with artists drawing in the style of Ghibli. There are plenty of artists who do this. Yes. They take a commission and they're like, oh yeah, like the client asked me to kind of make it like Ghibli looking, so I made it Ghibli looking. Like, nobody gives a fuck about that.
Correct, yes.
Everyone's okay with that. Again, inconsistent philosophy.
Yes.
See, exactly. So, see, you just made the argument. That was my argument, Tazuto. Remember the argument I made about the salt crystal? That's literally what you're doing. AI Gen has no respect for what it copies. AI Gen is not a person. AI Gen can't respect anything because it's not a person.
Correctly, yes. True.
Does a paintbrush, does the pen of an artist who draws in the Ghibli style, does it disrespect the artist? I don't even know what you mean. I don't care that people are using it. What I'm saying, Tazuto, is that your argument is entirely emotional. That's my point. And I understand the emotion. I understand where it comes from. I'm just saying it's not logical. It's not logical or philosophically consistent. None of it is. Correctly. It's purely emotional. We can see it with the overuse of AI. Well, I mean, again, AI can be bad. I don't think AI is a okay. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that AI is good. I think AI is neutral. I think AI is a tool, and it will be used for evil and it will be used for great things. Both. In this, like, a person can use an AI to flood the internet with hate for, you know, in a targeted hate attack against people that
Correct.
The original creator didn't want.
On point.
The original creator, if they hate somebody, they can use AI in order to attack them in a plethora of ways. That's not AI's fault. That's the fault of the person who's doing it.
Yes.
Just like a camera, it can be used for good or evil. Yeah, exactly. You could take pictures of somebody candidly when they're not paying attention, and spy on people's privacy using a camera. But it can also be used to make beautiful photography of the solar system, the stars, right, in the desert at night with the right exposure, the right lens, in the right environment. you can get like really beautiful pictures of like the stars. No one cared that the milkman was replaced. Everyone bought the fridge. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if respect is the point, then are you against hentai? Are you against all of the fan hentai of I don't know, Pokemon characters or whatever, like everything, all of the fan hentai ever made? Are you against that too? Hentai is respectful though, says Younger. I don't know about that, but anyway, to go back onto what I was talking about, right? Like you could just have this, you know, freaking AI anime girl, right? And you just type that. It doesn't really mean anything, right? But like if you wanted, like for instance, like you know, say like I needed her for a specific thing, right? Like I need this anime girl for a specific thing. Okay. So this picture is going to be the inspiration for it, at least the base, right? So then, okay, take this anime girl. Let's see. Cut her hair a bit. Let's see. Make her hair shorter, about shoulder length. Give her a open front hoodie, so her uniform still shows. The hoodie is baggy, way too big for her. Her hair should also be, I don't know, fucking green. Her hair should also be dark green. Dark green. Or let's do purple. I like purple. Her hair should also be dark purple. Dark purple. Put bags under her eyes because she plays video games too much. And she was late for school because she was up all night playing video games. Give her glasses with large circular frames. Make her hair disheveled and messy. Make her expression like tired, her mouth open. There we go. I mean, and again, like this is like not even that good. Like you could go deeper, right? Self-talk says Ultra bro.
Yeah.
I just wanted. It's the first thing that came to my mind.
Okay.
Hayao Miyazaki says AI generated images are not art. It's an insult to life. I mean, that's his opinion, and he's entitled to it. I'm
He's
also entitled to disagree. That's true. Miyazaki also does hate his own son. That is true. Oh, can you imagine being that guy's son? Fuck. Poor guy, man. Poor bastard. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yeah, that's the girl I wanted. Guys, okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. All right, guys. So see, we got the anime girl here. All right. And this is the girl I wanted right here. That's exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I thought in my mind. Exactly how I imagined her. Oh my god. Give me that hikikomori. But anyway, so to explain it, right? So this first one, right? This doesn't, basically I had no vision for it. Does that make sense? I had no vision for what this is. This thing right here only came into existence completely randomly. It had nothing to do with any input from myself at all. I didn't care what it looked like. I didn't care how it looked like. None of that mattered to me. She could have not been wearing this for all I care, right? Like her hair didn't have to be this length. She didn't have to have this expression. Her eyes didn't have to be that color. None of that mattered, right? Whereas here, I mean, you heard me talking in real time of how I imagined her in my mind. Does that make sense? And I already know that I'm not going to convince anyone on the AI side because they hate AI so much. They hate AI so much that like all rationality has like left their brains, like to be honest. But I'm trying to convince people that don't know about AI. Do you see the difference here? The difference is intention. Again, I'm not saying anything about difficulty. Difficulty has no factor here. Obviously, if a person were to draw this picture it would take them significantly longer.
Correct,
It
yes.
would take them much longer, probably. I'd estimate this picture would probably take them a whole day. Whereas it took me, what, 10 seconds? And again, like, this isn't even, like, as good as, like, it could be. Like, I could, like, individual, like, if I wanted, I could, you know, like, I could take, you know, you guys might not know about this, but I could take this, and I could literally say, like, I could specifically do something like remove the tie, change it for a bow. Like, you can target very specific aspects of the picture, actually.
If this is the point that gets repeated, let's just continue for a bit.
Like, for instance, like here, I'm just gonna do that real quick. Yeah, in painting, a lot of people don't know about this. You know, see, this is the thing: is a lot of people I know that don't like that have all these opinions about this stuff. They don't even know about it. They don't even know how to do it. Anyway, so what I was gonna say is that this is so if you were to hand draw this picture, obviously it would be a lot more effort. It would definitely be a lot more effort. There would be significantly more intention behind it,
Correct,
right?
yes.
I mean, let's not lie. Obviously, like, there's a lot more intention involved in that, right? Again, it's gonna take I just told it to take off her glasses and get, I mean, it's pretty decent, you know? Just did that.
Good. I
Done.
think
And then they're just tired, and they're just like, yeah, you know, fuck it, like, I don't give a shit anymore. That's kind of like what happens at that part. Premiere. The elf with the sword looks weird. Yeah, that was you want to know what that was? That was a case of fatigue, Kaiser. That was you ever seen somebody like do something and
I think that's all we need to hear from her. The thing is, him, I just don't know if the I think it's a woman. Her, she's on point with everything that she just said. She actually did provide a very, very good point, and even showed why the F it could be a good tool. And I think the Kern der Aussage is actually done here. This won't get any more informative, I guess. I'm gonna watch this video on my own time, but I think we got the gist of it. Art is a tool. This tool will be implanted no matter if you like it or not. The only thing we should do is look very hard into AI and just do it in a way where it's morally acceptable, in my opinion. There is nothing we can do to stop it, but what we can do is to actually influence how we will implement it. And this should be our goal, not the other thing. The other thing, impossible. It will just get out, get effed. It's just done. But I think, as it is, acolytes, I agree with her or them. Lieutenant Azari. I need to watch more of this content just to know where one, how, why. But as it is, good night.